Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram
Hare
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 Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Ram
Hare Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna Ram Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram 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 Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare Ram
Ram
Ram Ram
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Ram Hare
Ram
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 Ram Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Ram Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram Hare
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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Krishna
Ram
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 Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare Hare Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
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 Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Ram
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram
Hare Krishna Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna Krishna
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Ram
Krishna Krishna
Ram
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna 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 Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram
Ram Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare Ram
Ram
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Jai Śrī Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Ram Sankirtan Ki Jai. Okay, so I see all of your wonderful faces. Thank you, everyone. I see Biraj, Bionto, Binayak, Jashit, Lakshay, Karina, Vedehi, Ishan, Avni, Vinita, Krishna, Rama, Ovi, Navya, Athar, Prapti, Haley, Mishti, Ethereal, and Sampada. Haribol. So I affectionately welcome you to this, our online weekly discussion called Bhakti with Fun. And I offer my humble obeisance to all of you who are very, very sincere devotees. At such a young age, you are practicing the path of Krishna consciousness. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So how is everyone doing today?
Good, Prabhuji.
Good? Happy? Healthy? Most of your exams are also done, so I'm sure you're eagerly looking for your Christmas and New Year break. I think you all have some holidays, a week or two, you all have vacation. So anyone has any special plan for the upcoming holiday? What are you going to do? Maybe everyone write in 1 or 2 sentences. What is your plan? What do you plan to do? Do you have any goals? Do you have anything in mind? Maybe everyone can type in what are the 2 or 3 things, main things you will do. Oh, Lakshay is saying that he'll go to D-Land for and Biraj as well for the kids camp. That's nice. And you'll see cows, you'll see devotees, you'll have a fun time. Jashid, Binayak, so quite a few of you are going. Very nice. What else? So Veda is mentioning just to take a break and recuperate for all the hard work you have been doing during the sessions and just chant more and relax and spend time with family. Finishing homework, chanting rounds, chant every day, definitely. That's very good. No. See, we all need recuperation, right? We all need recreation. We all need to relax. Or this is also called self-care. And it's very interesting that we will be talking about that today. Self-care. Okay. So sometimes we talk about some pastimes or stories of Krishna, right? For example, what did we talk about last few times? Like recently, who remembers in the last few sessions some of the stories we talk about? Yes, we want to?
I was stressing.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I was stretching my arms and I accidentally put myself on mute.
Okay, Avani?
Last week, Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji, last week we talked about Govardhan and 2 stories from Govardhan. And then week before that, we talked about Citraketu Maharaj also.
So we spoke about King Prithu. Natasha Mataji took those classes, right? King Prithu, right? You all remember those 2 sessions? Was it King Prithu? Which king was it? Yes, Binayak.
It was Parikshit Maharaj.
Yes, it was Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj. Vedi? It was not Parikshit Maharaj, sorry. Which classes Natasha Mataji took?
Citraketu Maharaj.
It was Citraketu, yes. My wife Manjulali took classes about King Prithu, right? And we learned about patience, humility there. So these are all stories, but there is also some philosophy. So, and there's a nice combination. Philosophy means in Bhagavad Gita, there are a lot of verses which primarily deal about the philosophy of life. What is soul? What is body? What are senses? What is nature? Right? What is karma? What is good karma? What is bad karma? What is akarma? This is all philosophy, right? Is my voice audible? It seems that my network is not so good. You're able to hear me somehow?
Yes, but like it kind of glitched out at one point, and then it just came back.
Okay, now you're able to hear me?
Yeah, perfectly clear.
And is there a lot of background noise from my end? No? Okay, good. So, but before we move forward to this topic, and thank you everyone for sharing. I did read all your responses, so thank you. And Navya mentioned she's going for a trip to her grandparents. That's excellent, with her grandparents. Chanting is what most of you said, which is very good. And then you'll spend time visiting certain places, spend time with families, catch up on your homework. Excellent. All these are excellent. So let's do some verse recitation. So anyone who has learned a new verse between today and between now and last week, anyone learned a new verse, any new verse, either from the homework or otherwise? Okay, Vedai, who else wants to recite? Any new verse you learned? Okay, Mishti, and then Avani and Vinita. Let's go. Let's go ahead. Hari Bol, Ishan, thank you for joining. Let's start the verses, please.
Hare Krishna. Ado devaki devi garva jananam gopi grihe vardhanam maya putana jivitapaharanam govardhanodharanam kansachetanam kauravadi hananam kunti sutam palanam etad bhagavatam purana katitam Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛtam. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, excellent. And I see Mahima also has joined. Thank you, Mahima, for joining. If some of you, your cameras are not on, if you are able to, if you're in a position to turn on your camera, I highly, encourage and appreciate you doing that. Yes, next.
Hare Krishna. Namaste Girirajaya Shri Govardhana Namine Asesha Klesha Nashaya Paramananda Dayine. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that beautiful verse about Govardhan. Next. I think it was Avani. Somehow looks like she signed out. Where is she? Maybe Vinita can go. Where is Vinita? I don't see Vinita either.
Oh, I'm here. Hare Krishna.
Oh, yeah, she's there. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Ado Devaki, sorry. Ado Devaki Garvajananam Gopi Grihe Vardhanam Maya Putana Jivitafaranam Govardhanodaranam Kamsa Chetana Kauravadihananam Kunti Sutam Palanam Etad Bhagavatam Purana Katitam Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta.
Very bold. Wonderful. Very nice. So these two verses, one about Lord Ram and one about Lord Krishna. How many seconds it takes approximately to recite this verse, or any verse for that matter? Between 15 to 30 seconds, right? Approximately. It doesn't take more than 30 seconds to recite any. Even a longer verse like this one is a longer verse relatively. It doesn't take more than 30 seconds, right? So I would highly suggest that you can recite it every morning, every night before you go to bed. Even you start your school, even in the mind you can recite before you begin your day, before you end your day at school. So many opportunities are there. By remembering Krishna Katha, which comes in these This verse is basically talking about different activities, the primary, some of the main pastimes of Lord Krishna. And then the one Ekashloki Ramayana, who knows that one? Anyone recalls Ekashloki Ramayana? Ramayana in one verse? Anyone? Try, Vedahi, please try. So these 2 verses you have to recite every day. It takes less than 1 minute, okay?
Ato Rama Topovan Adi Gamanam Hatva Mrigam Kanchanam Vedehi Haranam Jatayu Maranam Sugriva Sambhashanam Bali Nigrahanam Samundra Taranam Lanka Puri Dahanam Etad Paschata Ravanakumbhakaran Hananam Etadi Ramayanam.
Very nice. This verse has your name. That's why you remember it well. Good, good. So this verse, most of you, I think you have learned. You may not recall, but I know you have learned this verse way back. Okay, so thank you for those who memorize, are taking your time to memorize. And now it's your time to also catch up on these verses. So revision is very important. In your winter break, you can also make a goal to revise these verses which you have learned, right? And Vedahi and Avani are making us a list of a document which has all these verses, so it's easy, right? Whichever. So please keep updating that, and you can put the link again. It might have gone way back. So talking about self-care today. What kind of self-care what is your definition of self-care, right? Is it important? Let's hear a few thoughts. What is self-care? What do you think is self-care? Is it important? Should we spend time on that, or should we ignore? Let's take some thoughts, and I encourage you to engage and participate, right? I don't want just a few hands to be up all the time. I want everyone to share because I want to learn from all of you, not just 2 or 3. Okay, Biraj and then Karina.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavata Pranam. I think self-care is very important, and it keeps your mind and your body physically and mentally healthy, so you're always happy. And steps you can take is like eating healthy, eating vegetarian food, and then chanting and meditation and physical activity.
Very good. I think you said a lot of good points there. Very nice. Yes. Next, Karina, and then Navya.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think self-care is like when you treat yourself with care, you don't say bad stuff about yourself. Like, I feel very bad. I feel very unfocused. You like treat yourself with care. You say good stuff about yourself to keep you going every day. That's what I think, Prabhuji.
Very good. Thank you for sharing your perspective. Yes, Navya.
I think self-care is taking care of your body and taking care of yourself that way, because your soul is your real self.
Taking care of your body. I heard that. What was the next thing you said?
And taking care of yourself, because
Taking
you
care
are
of yourself.
not your body.
Okay. Maybe it's my side or your side. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, soul. So body, mind, and soul. That's perfect. Very nice. Thank you. So now, when most people talk about this self-care, most of them think myself means my body, right? Majority of the population thinks that myself means my body. And they do spend some time like cleaning their body and maybe doing some exercise, some walking, going to gym, doing yoga, or eating proper, healthy food. All these are elements of taking care of the body, which we all know quite well. I think you all know that quite well. And how many of you can give a 15-minute talk about taking care of our body? Right? How many of you can, if I give you this topic, you have to speak on taking care of our body for about 10 to 15 minutes. How many of you can speak on that topic? With some preparation, of course, not instantaneously. Let's say you have to speak on it next Sunday. How many of you are in a position to do so? Vinita, Athar, everyone? How about Arna? Not sure? How many of you like to speak on these such things? How many of you like to speak? Like speaking is your thing. Okay. How many of you don't like speaking at all? Don't like to. Hey Krishna, you don't like speaking? Don't say that.
No, I said I do. I didn't realize that you said no.
Okay, next. Now the question has turned. How many of you don't like speaking? You don't like to be in front of stage or in front of people speaking? Okay. Ishan, you don't like? I thought you like to talk a lot.
I mean, sometimes like when there's like a large audience and stuff, like no. But like in general, yeah, I like, but like big audience, like when it's like that, then I don't like it.
Good. And there is absolutely nothing right or wrong, right? There is no right or wrong, flavor. These are all flavors. For example, some of you may like rice and dal. Some of you may like rice and rajma, right? Now, who is better? There's no better there. It's just how we are tuned. But at the same time, a nice balance is required. I would say someone who may just always want to speak has to be more patient and mature to give others also a chance to speak. And someone who never likes to speak has to understand that, yes, I may not like it, but I can develop that flavor. I can develop that when required, right? Because in this world, for our material things and spiritual things, speaking is required to some extent. I'm not saying everyone has to be a public speaker, but some speaking is for sure required. Yes, Karina. So we have to balance those, okay?
Prabhuji, I like speaking, but I also don't like speaking. So, like, I like to speak, but when it's the time that I have to actually do it, like go in front of the crowd and do it, then I feel like, oh my God, I can't do this. So I like it and I don't like it.
There is naturally some fear. There is naturally, sometimes our hands shake, sometimes our legs shake, and sometimes there is natural nervousness, but that can be overcome as well with practice. So again, my topic is not today public speaking, but just my point was that all of you know very well about taking care of the body. So that will not be our main focus. Our main focus is today taking care of the mind. Taking care of the mind. Now, how many of you agree that taking care of the mind is more important than taking care of the body? What is more important, mind or body? Raise your hand if you think mind is more important. And raise your hand if you think taking care of the body is more important. I'm not ignoring the body, but you think, no, body is more important than the mind. Okay, a few of you think like that. Let's take some examples, right? Let's take some examples. For example, most of us or most of your parents have phone. All of your parents, I believe, certainly have phones, and some of the elder kids might also have phone. Sometimes the phone external may not be good. For example, the cover is loose, or there is some scratch on the screen, or it's dirty. Like, how many of you have seen that, right? The screen broken, but it's still that person is using it, right? The cover is right? All of you have seen these things. But can the phone operate without a proper operating system? The operating system has virus, even for a computer, right? So the operating system of our body is the mind, correct? And if mind is infected with the virus, it can really drive things crazy. These days, you might have all heard of gun shootings, right? You all heard of gun shootings. And what is the root cause? Can anyone tell? Or what do you think is the root cause? Yes, Rama, and then Ishan Sarkar.
So it's basically the mind. If the mind is not good and it's like dirty and you don't clean it, then it's probably like it's gonna be like you're gonna go crazy and you're gonna go against the Vedas and all, and so you're gonna like do some.
It's the mind. And then the mind will cause havoc. It will be a havoc. And sometimes they shoot others, and what they do, then they end up shooting themselves. Right? Have you heard those? It's like mind is crazy. The system is infected with virus. They may have a nice body. They may be young. They may have a beautiful body. They may be healthy also. External, everything looks good. They may have decent clothes. They may have decent car. But inside is all corrupted. Right? Ishan Sarkar, you had something to share?
Yeah, so Hare Kṛṣṇa, basically when these things happen, people just feel isolated from society to the point where they hate other people. So that's why they do these kind of things.
Right, that's interesting. So now a short quiz. Anyone can tell. So I think Rama said the mind can go crazy and become an enemy. Is some verse ringing in your mind? The mind can become a friend. The mind can become an enemy. Is some verse ringing in your mind from the Bhagavad Gita, which tells the mind can be a friend, the mind can be an enemy? Ethereal, you know that verse?
Yes, I think it's 6.6 from Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, please tell. Please speak in the microphone.
Bandhuratma manastasya yenat me vatmana chitta anatma anasta shaktvatve vertitat me shatvat. And the translation is for him who's conquered the mind is the best of friends, but for one who's failed to do so, the mind will remain the greatest of enemy.
Thank you. Very nice verse. So it's Bhagavad Gita 6.6, and Ethereal very nicely said. So bandhu means friend. So mind can become a friend for one who has controlled it, or one who is properly taking care of it, right? And it can become a shatru also. Shatru means enemy. If one who is not controlled, or who just lets it loose. For example, if you let the body loose, eat what you want, no regulation, do what you want, right? If there is no system, there is no regulation, guess what? The body will be very healthy? No, right? To be healthy, we need regulation. Regulation of good food, regulation of good exercise, regulation of habits, eating, sleeping, 6.17, right? Who knows that? Regulation verse, balance, 6.17, very, very important verse. Yukta hara viharasya Who knows? Krishna, you know that?
Yukta viharasya yukta chestasya kalpas karmashu yukta swapnava bodhasya yoga bhakti dukkha.
Very nice. So we have to regulate eating, sleeping, recreation, right? We have to balance those things. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 6 talks a lot about these things: regulation of body, regulation of mind, and self-care. Chapter 6. So all these verses which we will talk are primarily from chapter 6 only. So 6.6 we covered, 6.17 we just discussed. Now, what are some of the other consequences which could happen from an uncontrolled mind? When the software is corrupted, when there is virus inside, I want to hear from all of you some thoughts. What could potentially happen when, or maybe since all of you have something to share, I would like everyone to type in your response while one or two are speaking. In the meantime, all of you, please type and engage. There's a time for all of us to learn from each other, and maybe Beyonto can speak what's on his mind. So my question is, what can go wrong? So one example we discussed, like gun shooting, people killing others, right? That's certainly a consequences of a bad software or a uncontrolled mind. Okay. Killing others, yes, we covered that. Anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, someone said, very, very important. Very, very important. These days, there's a lot of suicide going on, especially even in the youngsters, right? I'm here currently in Kota, Rajasthan, where there's a lot of pressure of studies. It's a place where people come for preparing for their medical exams, engineering exams, etc. And there is so much pressure, lakhs and lakhs of people, thousands and tens and thousands of people, millions of people are here to study, and there is so much pressure, and then they can't cope up with it, and then the mind is not controlled, and rather than being a friend, it becomes enemy and say, what's the purpose of living? And then they end up taking their life, which is very, very bad, and we pray that no one has to go through that. So depression. Yes, Beyonto? Sorry, you were speaking.
People could think, like, say bad things about Krishna, or like do stuff that's like bad. Or they could go crazy and instead destroy themselves.
Yeah, they can hurt themselves, they can hurt others. Feeling unconfident or unsatisfied or dissatisfied with their life. What's the purpose of living? After all, it's all, bogus. There's no good thing in the world. Everyone is bad. Like, overall, they may have a negative attitude towards life, right? Yes, Rahama?
So it's like one thing leads to another, because when the mind is bad, some people might read the Vedas when their mind is good, and then they remember the Vedas, they go hunting, which the Veda says not to do, and then because of their mind, it got lead to the next, and then the next, with the uncontrolled mind, they say to even the Veda said not to go hunting, and then even the hunter said not to do big animals to hunt, because then it can just ram you down, and then uncontrolled mind could also go to a big animal like a buffalo and then just make it hit you, and so it's like one thing leads to another. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's like a negative emotional snowball, right? The snowball effect. You roll a snowball, it keeps getting bigger, right? So one thing, as Rama said, one thing leads to the other. Like, for example, the negative attitude will make others, the family also, right? It will get affected. The friends will also get affected, and now we have mentioned you might get sick. Yes, that's so true. even in the medical field, there's something called placebo effect, right? If you think that this medicine is going to cure you, like they give some sugar pills and they say this is the medicine for you, and you eat it, you'll get healthy, you'll get better, right? What is it? Placebo effect or domino effect? I'm not sure, but the idea is that we have to tell that yes, I'm healthy, I'm going to improve, right? Like have a positive outlook towards life, rather than thinking, hey, what this medicine can do, after all doctors are trying to cheat me and this and that, right? then that medicine won't work. And there has been scientific research on that also. So I think all of you said very, very nice points. So a healthy mind resides in a healthy body, correct? And the opposite, I feel, is also very true. A person with a healthy outlook towards life, a person with a healthy mind will have a healthy body. It's quite natural. It works both ways. So, and on the contrary, if a person has a healthy outlook, all these things will be less, and more positive things will be there. Sometimes, how many of you have been asked this question? Hey, what's the need for building temples? What's the need for building temples? And why don't we just make hospitals? Why don't we make just some place where we can feed the poor, right? Why are you all building hospitals? ISKCON is often asked this question. Why are you spending your time and energy and money building temples? Has anyone gone through that, or someone has asked you this? Or have you ever contemplated yourself? Yes. Okay, Karina, what's on your mind?
Prabhuji, it was about when you were talking about like suicide. I remember a story about an 11-year-old boy. His mother was always putting negative thoughts on him, and I don't think he had any other family. His mother was always putting negative thoughts on him, like, I wish I didn't have you. I wish this all couldn't happen. And then at 11 years old, for Mother's Day, he just killed himself for his mother.
That's very unfortunate, but there's a very important lesson. So yes, Ishan, you had your hand raised, Ishan Sarkar. Okay, he's doing something. Ishan, I'm talking to you.
I didn't have my hand raised.
Okay. Yeah, maybe if you're hearing Kirtan or something, you can lower the volume or something.
No, Prabhuji, actually, someone invited us to a satsang, and they're very loud.
Okay, that's fine. They're Kirtan at home. So I think we got the idea, like most of you got the idea that there is a lot of negative impact, right? And talking about this temple. So why do we make temples? Why is the need for temple? What are your thoughts? Misty? And then Binayak?
So when you like have like a temple, instead of like making like giving money to like whoever needs it, or like helping people, that's helping their body, and that's only gonna help them temporarily. But when you take them to the temple, or you give them like prasad, that's like giving them spiritual benefit, which is permanent, and it helps like control their mind.
Very nice. Very nice. Very good. Binayak?
I was gonna say that the temple does all of that. They give out prasadam for free. They heal people, not just mentally but physically. And yeah.
Very good. Both of you said very apt responses. So hospitals, the medical hospitals, they primarily heal the body, right? If let's say someone has a fracture, they'll go to the hospital. If someone has let's say some other medical disorder, they'll go to the hospital and see the doctor to get treatment. But the temple, these ISKCON temples, primarily Srila Prabhupada said they are like the hospital for the mind. Because if the mind is cleansed, if the mind is free from diseases, if the mind is free from the viruses and the cancer of mind, right? There's a very nice lecture by His Grace Gauranga Prabhu called The Cancer of Mind. Criticism, complaining, right? And complaining, criticism, and comparing, oh, why he has a better gadget, why he has a better phone, why he has a better house. Will that person ever be happy? Always comparing, always dissatisfied, right? Always criticizing, oh, she doesn't do that, oh, he doesn't do that, oh, I'm better than him. Will that person ever be happy, irrespective of what they have? No. So, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Srila Prabhupada's books, Srila Prabhupada's temples, the centers, they teach us how to cure the disease of mind. Therefore, they are a very, very important part of society. Or, in other words, if we can also link it to educational institutions. No one denies that educational institutions are required, right? Like schools, colleges, right? And so much money and budget is allocated to education. So much money and budget is allocated to the medical field as well, research. But Srila Prabhupada's temples, ISKCON temples, are like educational institutions. They're teaching us the way of life. They're teaching us how to live a happy, healthy life in this life and in the next. So as Mishti said, the educational, primarily they're teaching about how to make more money, primarily, right? Same on the bodily level, right? How to get more money, how to get better food, how to get better car, right? Same with hospitals, they're teaching, they're curing the disease based on body. But the temple is on the mental and the spiritual soul platform. It's an educational institute for not just the body, but the mind and the soul as well. So we can compare it to the educational institute. We can also compare it to the temple as a hospital. So therefore, it's very, very important. If everyone follows this path, guess how many less problems will be there, right? There will be no killing of innocent animals, right? There will be no people killing each other with guns and other weapons, right? Wars, correct? Because we'll understand the principle of universal brotherhood, which is spoken in Bhagavad Gita 5.29. Who can tell that verse, please? Yes, Vinayak.
Sorry, but I was thinking of the wrong verse.
Yes, Mishti.
Hare Krishna, this is 5.29. Bhuktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarva bhutana natva mam shantam nruchati.
Very nice. The idea is when we understand that we are all brothers and sisters, we are all children of God, then why will we fight? And even if we have temporary, like brothers and sisters may have temporary some disagreement, they may fight for a little, but it's not that they're trying to kill each other. They pacify, they kind of get back to, okay, it's fine, Mishti, Ethereal, we had some disagreement, we fought for a little, but then we are sisters again, right? And we both love each other, we respect each other, and same with siblings, because we have a same father, and we all have the same father, and that's Lord Krishna on the spiritual level. So we are brothers and sisters. So therefore, there is a lot of need in Bhagavad Gita. Now this is hard, right? Krishna, actually Arjuna says this is hard. Controlling mind is hard, right? Or changing our mental setup is harder than changing a physical habit. Let's say you chose, hey, I will not eat potato chips, or I will not eat outside processed food. Making that change is much easier compared to a mental outlook change, right? Can anyone tell a verse from Bhagavad Gita which Arjuna says it's quite hard? Controlling mind is hard. Is it in your list? Navya knows that. Please tell. Again from chapter 6. Yes, Navya.
I forgot the rest.
Thank you. Thank you, Navya, for that beautiful verse. That mind is chanchal, is very fickle. And pramathi balavadridam, it's very hard to conquer it. Vayu means air. So Arjuna is speaking this verse. Let's read the translation. Who has not spoken anything yet? Sahas, you're there? Can you read, please, this verse?
Sure. The translation?
Yeah.
The mind is relentless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind.
So Arjuna is saying it's very, very hard, right? Let's see what Krishna says in the next verse as offers a solution also to, you can read the purport if you get some time in your vacation. Both of these purports are also very nice. Yes. Athar, do you know this verse? You want to try to recite this?
Is it okay if I try do the translation of it?
You'll read the translation?
Yeah.
Who will read, who has not? Lakshay, please read this verse. Lakshay, you there?
Yes, sir.
Please.
Śrī Bhagavan Asham Sayan Mahapaho Mano Durnigraham Chalam Abhyashena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Grishyate.
Very nice. Yes, Athar, it's your turn now.
Lord Śrī Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment.
Very nice. So suitable practice. So first of all, you see, Krishna here is acknowledging, yes, if someone shares their challenges with us, we should not say, hey, no, this is nonsense. What are you talking about? Just forget about it. So Krishna is empathizing and kind of acknowledging and kind of building that bond. Yes, I agree, Arjuna. It is undoubtedly very hard, but it's not impossible. It's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. That means it will take time. It will take suitable practice. It will take practice. Even anything you want to learn. Let's say you want to learn to play basketball. Will you learn in one day? Swimming, cycling, any skill you want to learn, cooking, playing mridanga, anything, harmonium, dance. How many of you can learn all these things in one day like Krishna did? Lord Krishna learned 64 qualities in one day. Can any one of us do that? We are not the Supreme Lord. We cannot learn all these. In fact, to learn even one of those skills, it will take months, sometimes years, sometimes decades. Correct? And the more we do, the more we practice, the better we get. Correct? Right? Some of the expert musicians, they have been practicing for decades, 30, 40 years. Then they do like a concert, then it's a masterpiece. Same with expert cooks, same with expert doctors in any field. They have done a lot of practice. So we should not expect that suddenly our mind will get turned on, mind control on, and then suddenly the mind is controlled. Mind control, that doesn't work like that. It works through suitable practice. Suitable practice means We have to accept what things are good for us, right? Reject and detach from things which are not good for us. And we all know very well what things are helpful for our body, for our mind, for our soul, right? We have discussed those things. Same like feeding the good dog and starving the bad dog. Suitable practice and attachment. Same as in Rupa Goswami also says, this is anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjita, that we have to accept what is favorable and reject what is unfavorable. So same thing what Lord Krishna is mentioning here. We have to focus on things which are favorable and reject what's unfavorable. We have made a list like eating healthy food, doing exercise, right? Chanting the holy names, reading holy scriptures, having good association, very, very important. And having at least one or two friends, that is very, very important these days, where we can share our hearts. It could be your mother, it could be your father, it could be your brother, sister, who are in a position to help you also, right? Because if you share with, let's say, your younger sister who is 5-year-old, she doesn't know how to handle all these, right? Someone who is your genuine well-wisher, a teacher, a parent, grandparent, who genuinely want your good, who are mature to help you, who are willing to help you, who have the time to help you selflessly. Do you all have someone whom you can share, in terms of joy and sorrow when your mind is not feeling well, or you have some situation going on? You don't need to tell me who that person is, but I just want to check, or maybe you reply to me on a private chat. In fact, it's only on for you. Tell me who is that person in your life. Do you have one? If not, you tell me that also, where you honestly can tell whatever is going on, whether it's good, whether it's sad, whether you made a mistake, whether you did something you are not supposed to do. Right? Because a lot of these challenges happen when we don't have anyone to talk to, correct? When we don't have anyone to talk to, then whom will we share our hearts? Then that problem will just escalate, right? Yeah, please reply honestly, please reply honestly, because my intent is to only help you and do my best to you, right? I have seen only half of the responses actually yet. I would like everyone to take some time to see where you genuinely are able to share without fear of judgment, without, you can just tell whatever is going on. Whether you even did something you're not supposed, whether you watched something you were not supposed to, whether you ate something you knowingly or unknowingly, but you can still tell them, because you know that they will help you. And I'm not going to say this too loud in the public. I'm just trying to understand for your own good. So most of you said it's parents. Some of you said it's friends. Everyone, please reply. This is a very important question. Therefore, I'm taking a pause here. I won't proceed until everyone replies, since it's a very important question. And please be honest, right? Can you repeat the question? The question is, do you have someone in your life where you can honestly tell what's going on in your mind? Whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether you did something wrong you're not supposed to do, you can honestly tell. You know, they're your well-wishers. They are available to help you, to guide you, to yeah. You feel comfortable sharing with them. Okay. So some of you said friends, most of you said parents or grandparents and teacher. Some of you said teacher. When you say teacher, is it school teacher? Like just trying to understand. I don't think they have that much time to hear what's going on in your life, right? Maybe you can clarify that a little bit, whoever responded that. Do they have that much time to hear? So, okay, it is good if that is the case. So I would say having a person who is mature to help and capable to help, who is spiritually minded, if that's your parents, that's great. If that's your teacher, that's great. If that's your friends, mature friends, you know, that's fine, that's great. But if not, then please try to build that bond. Now you may say, I don't have anyone, but try to build that, correct? Someone did respond, or a few did respond that. I'm not going to tell names here because it's highly confidential stuff. But you have to try to build that connection also. Okay? And it works both ways. It's not one-sided, right? It works both ways. So you have to try your part. Hey, mother, I wanted to really tell you something. Can we talk for 10-15 minutes? Do you have some time? They may say, no, today I'm right now very busy. We'll talk after 2 hours, which is fine. But if it's urgent, you can tell them, hey, mother, it's really urgent. I need you. I need you to listen to me. Right? So we should tell our parents, if it's mother for some, if it's father, if it's grandfather, grandmother, there should be someone elder, I feel. With friends, it's a different level of communication, especially when the friends are all of your same age, like 10 years, 12 years. They may not be mature to handle that. They may not have the spiritual wisdom to answer you, right? Even though they may have good intentions, but they may not have the good approach to handle, right? So you can share with your friends, but please try to share with someone, your elder in your family. Very nice. Now we'll come to the last part. We have covered a lot of things today, primarily about the mind. Yes, Beyonto.
Doesn't technically everybody have a friend, Krishna?
Sorry?
Doesn't everybody have a friend, technically, Krishna?
You have friend Krishna, you can share with Krishna?
No, it's like, doesn't anybody, like, everybody have at least one friend, and that's Krishna?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. And very good point. We must share with the Krishna also, our best friend. Correct? Right? We must share. We must tell Krishna, I'm going through. We must tell Prabhupada. But at least I'm not at that level that Krishna will directly talk to me. How he talks to me is through his devotees. is through my teachers. So we may not be at that level. So he talks Krishna. So Guru is like a walking and talking Krishna, right? If you have an urgent issue, you need help, and you phone Krishna, you may be highly spiritually elevated and you may get a response. There are devotees, there have been devotees who Krishna talks to directly, but I am very, very low in that category. I am just a beginner in the path of Krishna consciousness. I'm a neophyte devotee. One day, maybe, if by all of your blessings. But so we need devotees who understand the heart of Krishna, who are mature to help us from the scriptures, and that's basically our spiritual teachers, Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, etc. And today I want to cover one last thing, and that will be your activity or assignment as well. The mind goes through a lot of thoughts, right? A lot of thoughts come to your mind. It is mentioned the mind goes through 70,000. Somewhere it's mentioned 70 lakhs, 70,000. But the point is hundreds of thousands of thoughts every day. Let's say round figure, if the mind goes through 72,000 thoughts every day, correct? Then how many thoughts an hour? Let's see who's good at math, who can quickly type in your response. If the mind is going through, without using calculators, please, if the mind is going through 72,000 thoughts every day, then how many thoughts an hour? And then how many thoughts every minute, approximately, without calculators?
Can you repeat it again?
If the mind goes through 72,000 thoughts every day, how many thoughts approximately per hour, and how many thoughts approximately per minute? Right, so 72,000 divided by 24 is 3,000, correct? 24 times 3 is 72. It was not a hard question.
1 0 off. 1 0 off.
Okay, no worries. And 3,000 divided by 24 is approximately how much? Sorry, 3,000 divided by 60. You have to convert, no. So 24 hours, every hour we have 3,000 thoughts, and then you have to convert into minute, will divide by 60, correct? So that's how much? 3,000 divided by 60? Yes, Mishti?
50?
50. You didn't sound very confident, but that's correct. You all need to really work on your math. Most of
I'm
you.
working on it every day, okay? Don't blame me.
I was just kidding. Okay. That's not the main point. I'm not here to teach you math. You are all experts. But I'm here to talk about some of the activity which we will go through. And this will be the last thing. So it's primarily classified into 4 categories: functional thoughts, positive thoughts, wasteful thoughts, and negative thoughts. Okay. So the words are quite self-explanatory, right? Functional thoughts. For example, you have to take your, you have to, let's say, clean your, make your bed today. It's a functional thought, right? You have to brush your teeth. You have to prepare, do your homework. These are all functional. Like, I have to clean my car. For example, all these are daily things which I need to do. So they are somewhere in my mind, right? Who will give some example of positive thoughts? Yes, Sampada, I've not heard from you. How are you? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Yes, please give a few examples.
Maybe thinking good for others. And
Can you give an
thinking,
example? 1 or 2 examples?
like, it's not really coming in my head right now. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
no worries. No worries. Thank you. Thinking good for others is also a good example. Lakshay?
A positive thought that I like students like when I go to school and there's like a test today, then like a positive thought would be that I'm thinking in my head that I'll like pass the test, but a negative thought would be like thinking that you'd fail the test.
Excellent. Very good example for a student, right? You have, let's say you have done your preparation. Let's go with a positive outlook. I have done my part. Krishna will help me to get the best grades. Krishna will help me to remember the right things. Krishna will help me to be successful, whether it's work, whether it's job, whether it's a disease, right? Yes, Vinita. Or you can give examples in any categories. Okay.
I was just wondering if you could show the chart again.
Sure. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Any examples? And actually, this will be your activity. You have to fill this, right, with some examples of each category and try to take new examples, which we haven't covered. And then you will just take an inventory of your thoughts and try to fit in how much your mind is full of. Like, let's say it's like a tank. Let's imagine this like a container which has these thoughts, right? And that container has these 4 categories of thoughts. What percentage of the container is filled with functional thoughts? What percentage of the container is filled with negative, positive, wasteful thoughts? And they all should sum up to be 100, right? You can make a pie chart, you can make a graph, whatever way is easy. This will all add up to be 100%. So let's say 10, 20, 30, or whatever, 15, 25, 25, 25, whatever that number, it could vary, but that will be, you'll populate these, fill these, and you'll also share and there's no right or wrong number. And that number may change. Someday you may have a very positive outlook, and someday you may have a quite negative outlook, and that could vary, but just try to analyze. But the goal here is, what is the purpose? The wasteful thoughts, right? We have to minimize or kind of lower them, and we have to minimize or cut down on the wasteful thoughts and the negative thoughts. And what we have to build more is positive thoughts. And functional thoughts are important, so we have to optimize it, right? It's important, but at the same time, it should not be, okay, if I have to do something tonight, it's not that I'm thinking of it all the time, because I have to focus and balance it. So you have to balance the functional thoughts, increase the positive thoughts, and cut down on wasteful and negative thoughts. Is that okay? Does that make sense? So, and for those who were not very confident about the verses, we covered quite a few verses: 529, 66, 615, 617, 634, 635. Chapter 6, we covered 4 verses. Most of you know those verses. If you're not, please review them again. You might already know them. If not, try to learn at least one verse which you don't know from that list. Okay? 66, 617, 634, 635. Okay? If you know all, just review, revise them. If you don't know anything, you can learn at least one new verse from there. And it was a little over time, 5 minutes over. I thought I'll do Kahoot, but sorry, I got late. But we can do next time. Next time, promise we'll do maybe like 2 cahoots, or maybe we'll do 1. You want to do now, or you want to do next time, like one, or how do you want to proceed?
Now.
What do you all? How many of you want now? Or how many want? Okay, type in your response. Next time or now? You have 2 options. Okay, I'm getting a lot of next times.
Yes.
So we'll do next time. Okay, next time we'll do it. Okay, for sure. For sure. Promise, we will not skip it next time. Okay, 100%. But thank you again for your time, for your patience, for your attentive listening. Please review this topic, right? This is an important topic, and do your activity, okay? Especially now you have vacations and more downtime. Take it seriously, okay? The more what you put in, what you get. If you take it lightly, you won't get the full benefit. But if you take it seriously, you'll get a lot of benefit from this, okay? Thank you so much.
Roger, can I see the slides of the 4 categories so I can take a screenshot?
Okay. Yes, please take. Someone can take a screenshot and put it in the chat also. Maybe those who are part of the group, so others can also see there. Okay. So you have to write, and you have to draw a pie chart, or like just put it, percentages also. Okay, done. So have a wonderful day, and we'll work out a time for the next class. It's a Christmas day next, so we'll see when we will have. I'll ask everyone so we can work it out. But thank you. Have a nice day. Krishna conscious day. Hari Bol. Thank you. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna.